students. So we'll start with your classes. Online classes today. I will be starting with part 3 of unit 4, parasitic helminthes. Okay, the part is life history and pathogenicity of Wuchereria bancrofti. We have been studying the life history and pathogenicity of the other two different worms. Okay, I can say helminths in the last two parts, that is part 1 and part 2. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವರ್ಮಿಂದ ಲೈಫ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅದರದ್ದು ಪ್ಯಾಥೋಜೆನಿಸಿಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂ ಒನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಯೂನಿಟ್ 4 ಪ್ಯಾರಾಸೈಟಿಕ್ ಹೆಲ್ಮಿಂಥಸ್, 6.7 paper 7 applied zoology, 6th semester zoology syllabus. Okay, so here Wuchereria bancrofti. So this was discovered by Cobbard in the year 1877. Okay, so it is commonly called as filarial worm. Okay, and the place where it is seen is tropical and subtropical countries and found in the lymphatic vessels and the lymph nodes of a man. You know, lymph is a white liquid. Okay, I can say white blood, okay, which is rich with the antibodies and the white blood cells. So it is seen usually in the lymphatic vessels and the lymph nodes of a man. These are long hair like transparent nematodes. This belongs to phylum Aschelminthes or Nematoda. Okay, and these are very long hair like very small hair like worms. Okay, and then they are filiform in shape. Okay, filiform in the sense round like, okay, shape alliradrinda, so we call them as a filarial worm. Both the ends are tapering. Both anterior and the posterior end is tapering. But you can see a difference between a male and a female adult worm. In male, tail end is curved, okay, ventrally, and contains 2 unequal spicules at the posterior end. But in female, tail is narrow and pointed. You can't see the curved end, as well as spicules are absent in case of females. Okay, so this is the female and this is the male. Usually male is smaller and female is larger. Okay, and here you can see copulatory spicules and all. Here in case of male, you can see 2 spicules. These are the blue color one. Okay, and papillae and spicules. And it is very small, and you can see the curved tail. And female, okay, this is the structure of a female. You have mouth, pharynx, esophagus, nerve ring, gonopore, intestine. Okay, you can see all the reproductive system, nervous system, okay, respiratory system and reproductive system, all the parts of this structures you can see here. Okay, this is the main difference. Now we'll see that Wuchereria bancrofti passes its life cycle in 2 hosts. Okay, one is the man and one is the mosquito. So the definitive host, which is the definitive host here? The definitive host is man. Okay, human beings are a definitive host for this, in whose lymphatic system the adult worms are harbored. Okay, in the lymphatic system of the man, adult worms are harbored. In the sense, they'll be there for very long time okay, and so it will utilize all the nutrients, all the elements which are needed by the humans. Then the embryos, which the name of the embryos is microfilaria. Micro means small forms. Okay, are discharged, which finds their way into the bloodstream. Okay, microfilaria, they will be discharged from the humans and they will be, okay, which finds their way into the bloodstream. They'll be going into the bloodstream. Okay, from the lymphatic system it reaches the bloodstream. Okay, the embryos are capable here of living in the peripheral blood for a considerable time without undergoing metamorphosis. Okay, so for the larger time of its life cycle, it will be in the form of a microfilaria. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ತನ್ನ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಾಲ ಮೈಕ್ರೋಫಿಲೇರಿಯಾ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪೆರಿಫರಲ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಪೆರಿಫರಲ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಈ ಔಟರ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಔಟರ್ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ರೀಜನ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಮೆಟಮಾರ್ಫೋಸಿಸ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ಎನಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೆಟಮಾರ್ಫೋಸಿಸ್? Changes into different, like egg will transform into first instar larva, then second instar, then third instar larva, and finally adult. This changes in the life cycle cannot be seen, but instead it will be there for a long time in the form of a microfilaria. Okay, then they are taken up by the female culicine mosquito. Okay, and during their blood meal, okay, they are taken up by a female mosquito. Okay, and here you can see the 2 hosts here I have shown here. Okay, this will be there. This is a human and this is the mosquito. There are different stages, you'll study that. Then intermediate host. What happens in the intermediate host? Intermediate host is a mosquito, okay, so in which the microfilaria undergoes the development and they become infective to man. Okay, microfilaria will undergo a certain development and it will become infective, in the sense it is able to cause a disease. Okay, till that it will be there in mosquito. Then a large number of species of mosquito belongs to the genus Culex, Aedes and Anopheles are the intermediate host of the Wuchereria bancrofti. Not only Aedes, not only Anopheles, not only Culex. So all the three genus mosquitoes are the host for this particular disease, what I can say. Okay. Then next, development of the microfilaria in mosquito. Why this is important? Because it is a particular infective stage, okay, which causes infection to the human. Now microfilaria ingested by the mosquito, okay, during blood meal collected by the anterior end of the stomach. Okay, when the mosquito bites a human who is having this particular disease, that is filariasis or elephantiasis, okay, so that time it will collect the blood, okay, and the blood in the periphery. Usually the mosquitoes will suck the peripheral blood, and the blood of those periphery will be having a microfilaria, and that will be ingested by the mosquito. Okay, then they cast their sheath quickly, penetrate the gut wall and migrate into thoracic muscles. Then what this microfilaria will do is, it will remove its upper covering, okay, that is protective sheath covering, and then penetrate the gut of the mosquito and then migrate into the thoracic muscles. They rest and begin to grow in the thoracic muscles here. Okay, see, this is the structure of the microfilaria, which is the infective stage. Okay, so you can see all these things. Okay, it is having a mouth body sheath here. Okay, a cuticular made up of a covering called as heart covering, protective covering called as cuticle, and you have oral style, and this is nerve ring, bladder, nephridiopore. These are all the different body parts. Okay, then first stage larva. After embryo, you can see the first stage larva. In the next 2 days, the slender organism changes into the thick, short, spiky tailed worm. Okay, so this microfilaria will turn itself into a first stage larva, which is very short, okay, spiky tailed. That means having can say curved tail, and then it passes rudimentary digestive tract. Okay, it possesses digestive tract is rudimentary, not that much developed. Okay, why it is rudimentary? Rudimentary means not active or not performing function very actively. So what is that? Why it is not performing? You know that it is dependent on a host for its food and shelter. It is getting its nourishment directly, so then there is no need of a digestive system. Okay, here you can see in case of, see, this is bite of mosquito to the human, okay, where microfilaria sheds it will take in microfilaria when it is biting a human, then it will turn into first larva, okay, first stage larva. Okay, then next stage, second stage larva. In 3 days, 3 to 7 days, the larva grows rapidly. Molt, I said you what is molting. Okay, so molting is increase in its height, weight and length, okay, usually in order to grow, or the removal of the outer body covering in order to show the growth and the development. Okay, so and forms the second stage larva in 3 to 7 days. Okay, from first larva it forms the second larval stage in 3 to 7 days. Then next is the third larval stage. On 10th or the 11th day, the metamorphosis becomes complete and the tail atrophies. Okay, on the 11th or 10th day, the tail will atrophies in the sense it will start disintegrating or disappearing. The digestive system and the genital organs are fully developed. Okay, digestive system and genital organs are developed here. This is the third larval stage. At this stage, it is infective to man and enters the proboscis sheath of the mosquito. At this stage, it is infective. On 14th day, it will enter the proboscis, that is the mouth region of the mosquito. Okay. Now, and from there, from the mouth region, it will enter. Here you can see, okay, the human larvae metamorphosis into the thoracic musculature of mosquito. Okay, and then here you can see what I can say here, life cycle of Wuchereria bancrofti. Okay, here human migration of the infective juvenile into inguinal lymph node, and these are the different cases of I can say, like it enters the RBC and then in the blood you have microfilaria. Okay, usually it will show the different stages. Mosquito sucking microfilaria from cutaneous capillary of the man, it will suck, and then larva will metamorphosis in wings. Okay, metamorphose in wings and thoracic musculature of mosquito. In the mosquito it will undergo different changes, and then infective stage. Okay, in the infective stage again, when it enters the proboscis of the mosquito to skin of man. Okay, when the insect will when the mosquito will bite, again it will enter into the blood of a human being, and then migration of an infective juvenile phase takes place to the inguinal gland, here lymph gland. Okay, and here juvenile in inguinal, okay, lymph gland, you can see the structure here. At this particular stage the diagnosis can be done and we can know whether that blood smear is having a microfilaria or not. And then adult worms in lymphatic tissues of man. In lymphatic tissues of man, the male and the female will become very adult here. Okay, and migration of the deeper thoracic blood vessel. Okay, it may migrate, nocturnal migration of microfilaria to cutaneous blood vessels. At the night time the microfilaria will enter the blood and all, and it causes, and here you can see the microfilaria in the blood. Okay, so again if it did at this stage, again if the mosquito will bite, again it will enter into the mosquito's body and then it will show the changes and the life cycle will continues. Here once again I will explain you. First mosquito takes a blood meal. Okay, that is third larval stage, which enter into the skin of the okay, from the skin into the mosquitoes, this one. Okay, and then what happens in humans, the adults here, adults will be formed in the humans, and then adults will produce sheath microfilaria that migrate into the blood, lymph and the blood channels. Okay, and it will be mosquito again takes a blood meal. Okay, and then microfilaria sheds the sheath and it enters the mosquito's midgut and migrate to the thoracic muscles, and then larva 1 stage and then larval 2 and 3 stages, and at the third stage again it will migrate to the head in the mosquito's proboscis, and again at this stage there are chances of it to enter the human skin through the mosquito bite. This is how the life cycle takes place. So then how the disease is caused, what is the pathogenicity, or I can say symptoms. The morbid change initiated by the Wuchereria bancrofti is essentially confined to lymphatic system. It mostly affects the lymphatic system, and infection with this parasite is called as Wuchereriasis or filariasis or elephantiasis. Why elephantiasis means the person who has this particular disease, their legs, or I can say their scrotal sac will become very large, okay, and very swollen. So as such it is of the leg of a elephant. Are you getting? So we call this as a elephantiasis. So this particular disease is having the following features. First is a pathogenic effect are produced by adult Wuchereria, living or dead. Even though the microfilaria is dead or living, it shows a pathogenicity. The living microfilaria causes occult filariasis, a disease. Okay, and then the injurious influence excited by the adult worm and developing larvae causes inflammatory reaction, which is called lymphangitis. When it is affecting the lymphatic system, okay, then that time you can see very swelling reaction, and that particular process of swelling of a leg, okay, I can say the lower limb, is called as lymphangitis. Okay, the lesions in the filariasis are caused by microfilaria found in the lymph nodes, lungs and spleen. Okay, even on the body you can see a lesions, that is due to the microfilaria. Then it causes allergic manifestations and lymphedema. Lymphedema means swelling of a lymph nodes. Okay, then it causes lymphatic obstruction, which leads to mechanical blocking of lumen. Okay, then endothelial proliferation and inflammatory thickening of the lymph vessels. Okay, lymph vessels will become thickened and there is no proper circulation of a lymph to the body. Then fibrosis of the lymphatic vessels. Fibrosis is what I can say, accumulation of a fibrous connective tissue so that it is avoiding the movement of the lymph freely in the vessels. Okay, and in the different lymph nodes also you can see a fibrosis, continuous development of a connective tissue. Okay, so such that it is forming a big tumor like structure due to the obstruction of the lymphatics. Okay, due to the obstruction of a lymphatics, what happens is it causes lymph varix, that is varicosity. Okay, and then elephantiasis occurs. I said you a very big swollen leg of which looks like the leg of an elephant, so we call that particular disease as a elephantiasis. You can see the pathology of Wuchereria bancrofti. You can see the leg and the swollen scrotal sac of a males. Usually these are the legs. Okay, you can see in case of female and male how the legs are. You can see it looks like the elephant's leg. Also we call this particular disease as a elephantiasis. And usually you can see the most of what does the data is, this particular disease is seen more in case of males than compared to females. Okay, so this is about your life history and pathogenicity of the Wuchereria bancrofti. So with this I will be stopping today's class. So thank you, students.